A new launch is the most exciting thing in a marketing person's career. It is also vital for any business because that's what brings about new growth. However, a new launch is also extremely challenging. In this video, I will show you what in terms of marketing strategy is same in a new launch, what's different, and how do we plan for it. I will also break it up into 3 stages so that it becomes easier to understand. Look out for it. So what remains the same? Whether it's a new launch or a more mature product, your basic marketing process, the foundation of the strategy, the marketing planning remains the same. We've discussed the GTMM model. Even in a new launch, you need to have a 1 year and a slightly longer goal, which could be from 3 years to 5 years. The terrain has to be researched well. Our market landscape and frame of reference, the work for that remains the same. We have to be very clear about our segmenting and targeting. And in the target market, how do we actually position our product? We also have to research the customer decision process with the same rigor and build out our customer persona and know where in the decision journey will we be working on. Messaging remains all important, so your messaging strategy is similar based on the positioning statement, the buyer persona, and looking at what competition messaging is all about. Marketing programs again fundamentally remain the same, the process remains the same. Where and when in the customer decision process do you have various marketing activities? What is the various type of media mix that will be used? What is the objective of each activity? So friends, this is the part which remains the same. Now here's where it becomes interesting. What's different in a new launch? We discussed the fact that your marketing fundamentals remain the same, the GTMM. However, the change comes where you add 2 more elements here. The first is, what are your sources of differentiation? In a new launch, differentiation becomes very, very important. Here's where we should look at what our source of differentiation can be. For this, what I'm suggesting is, or what I have used during my new launches with success, is look at the marketing mix. Which of the 4 P's or 7 P's in case of a service product can be a differentiator? Let's look at product. Is your product same as what's prevalent in the market? Most likely not. So what are the product facets you want to focus on? How will packaging change because of that? Any other aspects related to product? Very important. Pricing. Will your price be revolutionary, something which totally penetrates the market, or will you keep it similar? So will this be a point of parity or a point of difference? Place or channel. Does this change for a new launch? A channel can be a differentiator. You could use a totally different channel, or you could add another 1 or 2 channels to the existing norm. Finally, promotion. The way you promote, your focus of promotion can definitely be a differentiator. In fact, wherever the product differentiation is not as tangible, we should look at how we can differentiate in promotion or channel or the price. The third part that we should look even more deeply, and we've discussed it in the GTMM, the basics of strategy. The third part is segments. Are there segments which are being underserved with the current offerings in the market? Or segments may be served well, but 1 or more segments are unhappy with current options. So this is something, source of differentiation and segments, which are 2 important additions that we should look at deeply for a new launch. Now let's divide the launch planning process into 3 parts: pre-launch, launch, and just subsequent to launch, 3 to 6 months after launch, called the post-launch. In the pre-launch phase, research is very important. Do this diligently. I have worked for more than 1 year before a launch, and my predecessors worked another 6-8 months before me to actually create a great launch plan. Secondly, seeding. Do you think there are things that you need to seed into the market? Prospective customers, you need to seed it into their minds, their behaviors. Think about what seeding can be done before launch. Thirdly, For a launch or a new product which is extremely new, you might want to keep surrogate markers to research before launch. If it's a very new product, you may not have existing products, so look at similar products that you can study. Finally, the brand P&L. You will be making a profit and loss statement for 3 to 5 years from launch to post-launch. Friends, be very clear in this. There is a lot of pressure on us to show at times that we are going to get success from the first day onwards. Be very clear. If you are going to break even in the third or fourth year, be clear about that. If you're going to take time before sales come in for the brand at a certain volume or a level, be clear on that. Because some products, in fact all products, take time to be adopted. So if you think, for example, that for 6 to 8 months you will have only 5% of the customers using your product, be clear about it. I'm not asking you to sandbag numbers or to comment less. No, but new launches are tricky and you need to be clear at the start, because once the launch happens, no one is going to be patient with you. Now comes the launch itself. So I'm looking at maybe a couple of weeks before the launch day and maybe 2 to 3 weeks after that. That's the general period of launch. If you have a pilot launch where you are launching in a few cities or headquarters your product, then it's a different story. But if you have a full-blown launch, that is you're going across the country or across the globe, the first thing I tell you is, in your launch, do not save resources. You worked up to this point. The energy, the excitement of a launch will only be there for 2 to 3 months. So whatever you have, use it now. Do not save money, resources, people at this point of time. Go all out. We tend to save cash, save gunpowder for later wars. Do not do that. In a full-blown launch, go full blast. Secondly, in the launch, celebrate even small successes. Look, friends, this energy of a new launch, like I said, lasts for a small duration of time. You have to ensure that any positive news, any success stories are circulated all around in your internal teams, in your external or upper management. Even in fact your external customers, tell them how well your product is doing in certain areas or by certain customer groups. Use anything that you have to spread this positivity. It's important because momentum is what carries a new launch forward. Now we come to the post-launch period. I would say, like I said, anything a few weeks after launch to about 3 to 6 months after that. What is very important, friends, are your newer or earlier users. Wherever possible, try to use their positive experiences as testimonials. Honest testimonials. We don't want any makeup stories, but genuine users who have found your brand or your product to be useful to them in their life, in whatever stage of life or whatever the product deals with. Use their testimonials well. In the healthcare and pharmaceuticals, you have newer users who may also be thought leaders. So that's brilliant because they can help spread not just the science but also the benefits of using a new product. And because they are thought leaders, people will listen to them. Secondly, protect these new users well. No matter how differentiated your segment and no matter how unique your product, you will most likely be taking customer segments or users of your competition in some way. Either they'll start using your product or they'll be thinking of using it. So at this time, your competition is going to be at your throat. They are going to try to do everything to thwart your new product launch. That's the reality. So protect your customers, ensure that you ring fence them well. Depending on the industry, ensure that the right kind of promotional resources, people are there to help these new users to continue to use your brand so that they become loyalists in the time to come. So friends, as you can see, a new launch challenges your functional marketing skills, your behavioral skills, as well as your leadership skills. I hope you found this interesting, and even more than that, I hope you get the chance to be part of a new launch. Thank you. See you on the other side.